Hey everybody, welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina, K-R-I-S-T-I-N-A. This is where we read books, talk about books. No special effects here, no theme music, none of that stuff going on. Just me talking books, reading books with my co-host here. I've got this. This is the thing. Please like and subscribe. Those of you who've already subscribed, I thank you very much. I've got this idea for a Christmas miracle, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen, but I will put it out again just in case. I have this idea for a Christmas miracle. I've been doing this almost a year now, and I've only got a little over 140 subscribers. I had this idea, this fantasy, that I would have 1,000 by Christmas. It doesn't look like it's going to happen, but I would appreciate it if you'd give it a try, and please hit the like and subscribe. Let me know I'm doing a good job. I'm trying really hard here. As you know, I've mentioned it previously, December is a hard month for me due to several family members deceased, and we've run out of family members to celebrate. So I go to my comfort books, and my comfort books are J.D. Robb, my Eve Dallas series. There's over 60 books in the series. My Janet EVANOVICH. We're going to read all 30 books this month, and Dirty 30 is going to be under my tree. It's all wrapped, and we'll be doing that for Christmas. So right now we are doing Lean Mean 13. And I had some issues with the audiobook today. I was actually following it along with the book today, and sitting on a wire. It was missing some pages. I was like, well, dang. The audiobook, I said, is this abridged? Let me go back and check it. It wasn't abridged. It was missing several pieces of the chapter. I was like, what the F? So I had to go back and just read the book. I was going to try and data enter some stuff and do the book at the same time, because I do that a lot. I do a lot of data entering. I have 28 books. You probably will never, ever see them. They are genealogical in nature. I was approached by a publishing company and then never heard back from them, so obviously they're not interested. If you're on an East Coast, you might see them in your library, you might not. There are 28 of them. There's like 2 more that I've never done, and I probably will never do. I also had a huge website that's gone because I have no money. It was www.nyvagenealogy.homestead.com. One day I might get it back. I was also a Roots Web admin at one point too. So anyways, we are doing Stephanie PLUM, a Lean Mean 13. We've got some funny moments in this, and as I said, we don't do as much eating in this book as some previous books, so that's a good break. Sometimes like the subliminal messaging, and I get to Krispy Kreme, and I think of Janet, and I pick up a Janet book, and I think of Krispy Kreme and Cluck in the Bucket and Dunkin' Donuts and the delis. Oh God, Lord, I miss the delis. I miss the home delis. Oh good Lord, you don't know what you're missing. The delis are the best. Delis, real bakeries, real New York pizza. Oh God, I miss it. I miss it all. You don't know. If someone could send me 2 pounds of Long Island, New York potato salad, some leaf cookies, if you know what they are, the green and pink, not the diet ones, the regular ones, a pizza, Kaiser rolls, bacon, egg, and cheese for my belly. Do you know I heard and I saw the other day that costs $12 now? Like, what the F? So anyways, oh, you've got to see. She's too funny. So there's my gal pal. She's too much. She's too funny. Alright, Lean Mean 13. Let's get into some business here. Stephanie is a bounty hunter. Lulu is her partner. She works for Vinny, her cousin, who owns the bond office. Connie is the office manager. Joe Morelli, and you have people in your life where you just refer to them as their last name. Well, most of the time, it's just Morelli. You don't refer to him as Joe. You refer to him as Morelli. He's her on-again, off-again cop boyfriend. And then there's Ranger. He was in Special Forces. He does security. She's also an on-again, off-again bed baby partner. Don't know. So we have a Mother Ellen, her father Frank. We don't see much of her big friends. We do see Big Blue for a little bit. Now, I've mentioned these people before. Joyce Barnhart. Stephanie was married to Dickie Orr for a few minutes way back when. And when she came home from work one day, Dickie Orr had Joyce Barnhart on the dining room table, and they were doing it. And that was the end of Stephanie's marriage. So we start the book off. Let's see if there's anybody else that needs to be mentioned. No. Oh, well, Tank works for Ranger, and he will come into play a little bit later. And we also learn his real name. And it's top secret information. And I'm telling you, if you have a chance to listen to the audiobooks, Lorelei King is the best. And then Suzik Erickson for the J.D. Robs. And if you've been following these books with me, I cannot not talk about these books without reading them to you. It's my thing. I have been trying to fix the audio. It ain't working. I found this old microphone. Not a clue how to get it work. So this is a very, very low-tech situation here, dudes. So I'm doing what I can here. Please stick with me. Please hit the like and subscribe. Spread it around. Spread it to people. Just go like this chick's videos. Just go subscribe for the hell of it. I don't know. Oh. Right. And I love libraries. I get my own. Read with your own challenge. Eat your heart out. You try and read my 3,000 books. We've been doing it all year. Lindsay Sands, Carolyn Sparks, Laurel K. We're doing Janet. We're doing them all. And so, Lean Mean 13. And as I was saying, I cannot share this book with you without sharing it with you. I'm a reader. So please hang on for some reading. And a feisty pussycat today. She's real feisty. So, Stephanie goes to the office and Connie says Simon Diggory didn't appear for court. Simon Diggory has a anaconda, maybe? One of those big, huge steaks. Then he's FTA. He missed his court date. She needs to go after him. Stephanie says she needs to talk to Dickie, her ex-husband, the one she divorced for finding him doing Joyce Barnhart on the dining room table. Apparently, before the book starts, a ranger called Stephanie and had a secret mission for her to accomplish. He wanted her to plant a bug on her husband so he could get information on the law firm. There's this sneaky law firm. So Lula and Connie decide to assist Stephanie in her mission. The ladies go to see Dickie to inquire about setting up a business, a limo business, a limo thing. So they go to Dickie's office, and actually there's some new people working. They don't recognize Stephanie. She gets through all the barriers. She gets into his office, and things start out well until Stephanie sees a brand new picture of Dickie and Joyce Barnhart. Apparently they've been recently dating. And that sets Stephanie off 6 ways to Sunday. She goes after him. She plants the bug in his pocket. And on the way out, she sees that a wedding gift from her relative is on the desk. And she takes the clock with her. And that is like the cause of the whole thing. So, like I said, she plants the bugs. She goes back to the office. She goes to have lunch. They go back to Simon Diggory, and it doesn't go well. Then her mom calls, hey, can you go to the deli and get some stuff for me? So she goes to the deli. Her current car is a burgundy Crown Vic. And she goes to the deli, and the Berg has their social stuff. The deli, the bakery, the hair salon, and the viewing. People go to viewings for entertainment. Not from, well, the family goes for morning, but the friends and associates and the outlining peoples, they go for the entertainment. Grandma Mazza goes to see the dead body. She wants to see the person looked like. And Grandma Mazza, as we've known in previous books and in future books, will do anything to get the lid up if it's a closed coffin. It's just what she does. So by the time she sneaks in the deli, she's doing really good. And then someone goes, hey, I heard you tried to kill Dickie. And she's like, ah. So, let's see what happens here. When Mother ironed when she's stressed, sometimes she ironed the same shirt for hours. I didn't send Dickie to the hospital, and there were no police involved. At least none that I ran across. Lula and Connie and I went to Dickie for some legal advice, and somehow these rumors got started. My mother stopped ironing and set the iron on end. I never hear rumors about Marin Zawisky's daughter, or Esther Marchese's daughter, or Ellen Rosenbach's daughter. Why are these rumors always about my daughter? I cut myself a slice of coffee cake, wolfed it down, and crammed my hand into my jean pockets to keep eating the whole cake. Grandma was stowing the food in the fridge. Stephanie and me are just colorful people, so we get talked about a lot. Look at all the crazy things they say about me. I swear people will say anything. Mother and I exchanged glances because almost everything crazy that was said about Grandma Mazza was true. If a mortuary viewing was closed casted, she pried the lid open to take a peek. She sneaked out to Chippendale Performance when the road show hit town. She drove like a maniac until she lost her license, and she punched Morelli's Grandma Bella in the nose last year when Grandma Bella threatened to put the curse on me. Would you like a sandwich? My mother asked. Can you stay for dinner? Nope, gotta go, got work to do. Joe Morelli is my off again, on again boyfriend. Patience has never been his strong suit, but he settled down into waiting game while we both struggled with commitment issues. And Morelli smiled and put the spoon in the glass down when he saw me. You're home early, he said. I thought I'd surprise you with dinner. This feels like a spaghetti night. Who would have thought Joe Morelli, the scourge of the burg, the bad boy every girl wanted and every mother feared, would grow up to get domesticated? And I went to his side and looked into the pot. Smells wonderful. Do I see hot sausages in there? Yep, from Giovanni's, and fresh basil and green peppers and oregano. Only a little garlic sauce. I have big plans for tonight. My hamster... don't step on my computer. My hamster Rex lives in an aquarium on the kitchen counter. Rex likes to snooze in his soup can during the day, but Morelli had fed Rex some green peppers, and he was out of his can busy stuffing the pepper pieces into his cheeks. I tapped on the side of the cage by way of saying hello, sipped some of Morelli's wine. You look good with a spoon in your hand, I said to Morelli. I'm gender secure. I can cook, especially if it's a man food. I draw the line at folding laundry. He draped an arm across my shoulder and nuzzled my neck. You feel cold. I'm feeling very warm. I could share some of my heat with you. So things happen. He gets called out. I don't know why I had that written. We did this already. We did that already. Joe tells her that Dickie Orr is missing. There was a forced entry into his house. There was blood on the floor. They found 2 bullets. Marty Goebel is the cop that caught the case. Stephanie is his prime suspect because she was in his office the day before. She attempted to kill him, quote unquote. And he's wants to question Stephanie, but he's going to delay it a little bit because he just doesn't want to get involved. So Lula and Stephanie go looking for Diggory. No luck. Then Ranger talks to her about buggering Peter Smullen, another partner in Dickie's law firm. In the meantime, Joyce Barnhart accuses Stephanie of killing Dickie, that Dickie was worth a fortune. She says that he was making out a new will and he was going to leave everything to Joyce, but because he hadn't done the new will, his old will was still valid, and Stephanie was the prime beneficiary. What do you got over there? Nothing. Was the prime beneficiary of his will, and she's like, how have we been divorced for so long, blah blah blah. So then she later learns that Dickie was had $40 million from someplace, and we will learn that later. So this is when I noticed the audio. So she takes her grandmother to the store to get some stuff for the viewing, and she runs into Claudia Hauser and her son Jeremy, and they have her uncle Elmer with her. He was evicted from the nursing home because he set it on fire. And Grandma wants to go to the viewing of Milton Berg. It's a community thing. It's what they do in the Berg. Elmer offers to take her. They go on a date to a funeral. They go on a date to a viewing. Who goes on a date to a viewing? Obviously, senior citizens in the Berg go on a date to a funeral viewing of somebody they probably don't even know. But they go for the socialization and the cookies. Apparently, the funeral home does iced tea and some fresh baked cookies. Morelli comes over. He's working on this Barrington murder case and Dickie. He spends the night. He gets a call at 3 a.m. They found another body. She goes to put the Ranger knows Peter Smullen's routine down to the T. And I'm gonna bring her on. I'm gonna bring her on camera. I swear it. I'm gonna put her here, and she can ring in your face because regardless of when I do a video, no matter what time of day it is, she goes off. That clock goes off. It doesn't tell time. It hasn't tell time in over 20 years, and she still goes off every single time. It's not as long as it used to. Maybe the batteries are dying. It used to bing for like 12. So anyways, they still haven't found Dickie. He gets a call at 3 a.m. So she goes out to put the bug on Peter Smullen. Like I said, Ranger knew his routine. He always goes for coffee at Starbucks at XYZ time. She goes, she bumps into him, she drops her bug in his pocket. And then she goes to the office. A little update on Melvin Pickle, who is, we found him in the last book. He had been arrested for lewd acts in a movie theater, and Stephanie had given him a job in the bonds office filing, and apparently he did such a great job with the filing that the competition, the bigger competition, Les Sebring, the bail bonds guy that we met in the last book, hires Melvin away from Vinny's office. Connie mentions Carl Coughlin. He's a new FTA, and he's also a taxidermist, and he provides the humor for this book. And like I said, please bear with me. I can't do these books without reading. He's turning, Lula said. I'm on it. He's got a light, Lula said. He has to stop for the light. I jumped on the brake, but Coughlin ran it. He sailed through the light and was lost in traffic. Guess he didn't feel like going to jail, Lula said. The light changed, and I slowly moved forward. I looked over at Lula. She still had the squirrel. Coughlin is a taxidermist, and he stuffs dead animals. And she thought the squirrel was really cute, and she took it, and she punches the button, and the squirrel explodes, and the entire car is covered in squirrel guts. The guy's building rodent bombs, Lula says. We should report him to someone. You just can't go around building rodent bombs, can you? I backed up and tried to open my door, but it wouldn't open. I rolled the window down, climbed out Dukes of Hazzard style, and examined the damage. Some of the door was bashed in where I hit the light. I climbed back in the car and drove off the sidewalk. I got foam and squirrel hair stuck to me, Lula said. I probably need a rabies shot or something. Yeah, I said. Problem is, I don't know where to take you, to a veterinarian or a pollster. And if you haven't been aware of this, I haven't been in an extremely long time, 6+ years, maybe more than that. But Costco and Sam's, they always, during certain periods of time of the year to promote certain products, they have samples throughout the store. I have not done it personally because I don't like doing that kind of stuff. I don't like eating in public. And I just, if I don't have a soda or restroom, I am not going to sample all your products. Most of the time I don't like the products they're sampling, usually sausages or something, whereas my hubby will sample everything. You know those D. Louises. Have you seen Dom eat me? Poor man, rest his soul. My husband is, when he was heavier, he looked like Dom, but now that he's lost a lot of weight, his brother, though, still got the weight and still looks like Dom a little bit. I have a picture. It was on my website that I mentioned previously. It's about 12 cousin. Never met them. They never met us. But they had met Dom, and they had met Dom's siblings at one point. Very, very long time ago, like 30+ years ago. So anyway, like I was saying, Costco and Sam's, if you go in, you can get a good sample meal by perusing all the samples that are in the place. And Tallulah and Stephanie, Costco is an all-American free lunch. If you can't afford to buy food, and you can buy a minimum membership at Costco and get freebies from the giveaway ladies, you just have to kick your way through the seniors who stand 10 deep around them. Look over there, Lula said. They got a giveaway lady frying up little itty-bitty sausage. I love those litty-bitty sausage. We had some apple slices dipped in caramel, some carrots and raw broccoli dipped in ranch dressing, some goat cheese, some frozen pizza pieces, some tofu stir-fry, some brownie pieces from the bakery, and some of the sausages. We did a test drive on Guatemalan coffee and sparkling cider. We used the ladies' room and we left. There you go. Had a meal. The next day they go back to the office, and there are wanted posters all over town. Apparently Joyce Barnhart printed these posters out, probably used a good ream of paper, saying that Stephanie was wanted for murder. So Stephanie has, after she's talked to Joyce Barnhart, she has Connie do a background check on Dickie and she can find nothing unusual. She goes to check on Dickie's house and she questions his neighbor. Grandma Mazza calls her. She's going on a date with Alma to the viewing. And like I said, who else but Grandma Mazza would go to a funeral viewing on a date? But if you're 80 plus, well, Grandma Mazza's not quite that old, but if you haven't heard me say this before, I always picture Estelle Getty from Golden Girls as Grandma Mazza. That's my Grandma Mazza in my mind. The casting on the movie was horrible. It just didn't work. While shopping, Joyce Barnhart uses a stun gun on her in the mall, but that goes over okay. She's talking to Morelli. Let's see what happens. Morelli was at my kitchen counter drinking coffee, eating cereal. His hair was still damp from the shower and his clean shaven. In 10 minutes, he'd have a 5 o'clock shadow. He was wearing worn-out black jeans, a pale gray cable knit sweater, and black motorcycle boots. You don't look like a cop, I told him. All the other guys wear suits. I've been asked by the chief not to wear a suit. I look like a casino pit boss when I wear a suit. I don't inspire trust. It's just, I have this thing, if I don't know what word to use and I want you to fill it in, it's just, you put whatever word you want after it, it's just good, it's just bad, it's just horrible, it's just. Most of the time I never even finish the sentence. I'm like, it's just. So something goes wrong with her car, and her car dies, and we have to remember this. Her car has died. Ranger tows it away to the junkyard. And that's a vital piece of information for the end of the book, which I will not spoil for you if you have not read the book. Babe, you're stopped on Route 206. What's up? I remembered the gizmo in my bag. Rangeman was monitoring me. My car died. 15 minutes later, I looked up in my rearview mirror and saw Ranger pull in behind me. He got out of his car and into mine. Ranger didn't smile a lot, but clearly he was amused. I don't know how you do it, Ranger said. In a matter of days, you managed to turn a perfectly good piece of shit car into something so up. It's a work of art. It's a gift. The bullet hole in the rear window, that was Joyce Barnhart. I told him she's unhappy with me because she thinks I killed Dickie. And the crud on the dash, squirrel bomb. He looked incredulous for a moment and then burst out laughing. In all the time I'd known Ranger, this was maybe the third time I'd seen him actually laugh out loud, so it turned out to be worth getting squirrel bombed. Ranger dropped back to a smile and tugged me out of the car. He kicked the door closed, slung an arm around my shoulders, and walked me back to his Porsche Cayenne. Where were you going? I was looking for Simon Diggory. I stopped by his double white on Tuesday, but no one was home. I thought I'd try again. So they go to Simon Diggory's. His uncle's there. Ranger gets information that Simon is working at the mall. Then she's had a day. She's home. She says, I need macaroni and cheese, I said to Ranger, clapping my hands over my eyes. I promised myself French fries, jelly donuts, birthday cake, and I never got them. I have a better way to make you happy, Ranger said. Less fattening, but more addicting. Pharmaceuticals? Sex. And you can open your eyes. The Vic's gone. Gone where? Car heaven. You gotta love it. They also tell her they found another one of the guys, Zabar, he was washed ashore. His brother's name is Zip, and he works for Ranger, so they go check that out. Marty Goebel calls her. He needs her to come to the police station to make a statement. He's finally decided to get the guts up to question her. She has a good alibi, sort of, kind of. She was with Morelli. So she got questioned by Marty Goebel, and then she talks to Morelli, and there was a moment of silence. You didn't, did you? No, sheesh, I'm going home. I'm all discombobulated. Look in the freezer when you get home. I got you happy food. How happy? Stouffer's macaroni and cheese, a family size. I love you. I could feel Morelli smile at the other end. I own you now. I know where all the buttons are. Then, of course, Joyce Barnhart tells her that she has a copy of the will, and Dickie never signed it, so the other one is still valid, and Joyce is mad at Stephanie because she will inherit all the money that Dickie promised her. So apparently she was not only in it for liking Dickie, but she was also in it for the money. We did that. Where did I see that? I don't know what that was about. Oh. She's walking out of her apartment. I had to just share this little tidbit. Oh, look. The other little one. It's the little one. It's the baby. Come here. 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 Baby made an appearance. The baby. She doesn't often make an appearance. This is the baby of the family. Stephanie says, time to go get Diggory, I said to Rex. Now that I'm full of mac and cheese, I can do anything. Leap tall buildings in a single bound. Stop a speeding locomotive. Get a bikini wax. I had to share that. I had to share that. And this is the little one. She's the baby of the family. And when she curls up, she's just like so tiny. But if she sits down a certain way and spreads, you can see how big she is. She's out of the rest of the house, she's the smallest. She's just a little girl. There she goes. And we'll get back to the book. You gonna stick around? Nope. She's gonna go play with her sister. Who's right on the other side of this computer watching me, by the way. And there she goes again, going off. Would you believe? She decides to go after Diggory at the mall, and he's doing people's taxes, and because he's doing people's taxes and he's doing it successfully, the seniors come after her and somebody stun guns her. She calls Lula. They try going after Carl Duglin again. No such good luck there. She tells Lula about Dickie. Lula spent the night with Tank. She had a successful night with him, sort of, kinda. A little side note about Tank, even though he's a big, huge guy and built like a tank, he's naive socially, or let's say naive with women. And Lula will walk over him like white on rice. She'll just totally walk over him. She just doesn't know what to do or say or act around her or anything. So let me see what this part is here. what was I? So they go back to Coglin again with the guy, with the taxidermist with the exploding stuff, and she talks to him and gets him to explain his situation so that he won't run away from her or have exploding taxidermy animals. Are you back again? So they talk to him, and apparently, and I was, if it wouldn't take extra to load this video up, I have old equipment. I'm not superior like the rest of these people out here. I'm very, very low tech, but it takes hours for my videos to load up. Absolutely hours. I'm serious, swear. And I was thinking about inserting some pictures, but that takes extra time. And it's really late at night now. Okay. I've been reading too many books. But he's having trouble with his cable company. And he every time he leaves the house, the cable company shows up, so he's afraid to leave the house. They cut the wires out in the street when the city cut the wires when they were doing repairs, and the cable company never came and fixed the wires. And every time they come to fix wires, he's not at home, and they won't fix the wires without him being home. The entire upstairs of my house is outlined in coax cable. I could show you pictures. The idiot did it while I was not looking. I had a family matter at the same time. It was a really bad day. I will never forget it. I've got the whole thing documented. My upstairs, one guy told me, no, that's not the way. Another guy told me that, yeah, for my kind of house, it's required. But my entire upstairs is outlined in coax cable. Absolutely serious. All the door jambs, all the molding is all outlined in coax cable. So you want to talk cable problems? I'll give you cable problems. So then, they get an idea. Luther and Stephanie get an idea, and they go over to Coglin's, and they take one of his animals, and they take it over to Joyce Barnhart, and she loves the little guy until she presses the button and it explodes in her house. And Stephanie's like, yes, this woman that stun gunned her and took her husband and the whole 9 yards. It was just absolutely poetic. So Morelli spends the night at her apartment again. Her mom calls her. Has she seen the paper? So Stephanie goes out and borrows one of her neighbor's papers. Stephanie does not get a newspaper. She's always and forever borrowing one of her neighbors. The headlines read, local bounty hunter prime suspect in Orr disappearance, front page. And the article was accompanied by an unflattering picture of me taken while I was waiting for Goebel in the municipal building lobby. They'd interviewed Joyce, and Joyce was quoted as saying, I'd always been jealous of her and had fits of violent behavior even as a child. There was a mention of the time Grandma and I accidentally burned down the funeral home. There was a second file photo of me with no eyebrows, the result of my car exploding into a fireball a while back. And then there were several statements by secretaries who witnessed me going postal on Dickie. One of the secretaries stated that I pointed a gun at Dickie and threatened to put a hole in his head. That wasn't me, that was Lula. So then they go after another FTA, and this guy was wanted for stuff, and they get access to his house, and they go in his house, and they search his entire house, and the entire house is a cannabis house. And Lula accidentally shoots an ether bottle, and the entire house goes up, and the entire neighborhood smells of cannabis. Was interesting. So then I got blown out of it, I told him, and then it started raining. It's not rain, it's from the fire hoses on the other side of the house. He pulled back a little and looked at me. Babe, you're high as a kite. Yes, and you're so cute. Ranger put me in the Cayenne and handed Hanson and Lula over to Tank. We drove the length of the alley, turned onto Chambersburg Street. You're always so quiet, I said. What's with that? Ranger didn't move. I suspected he was rolling his eyes. Well, I said, I like quiet. Quiet, 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 I said, and I gave Ranger a shot in the arm. Don't do that, Ranger said. I gave him another shot. Ranger pulled to the curb and cuffed me to the sissy bar over the passenger side window. Are you going to have your way with me now that I'm handcuffed? I said. Would you like that? Absolutely not. Ranger smiled, put the Cayenne in gear, and pulled away from the curb. I saw that smile, I said. On the one hand, I was feeling very flirty and clever. On the other hand, in a dark back corner of my mind, I suspected I was one of those people who gets obnoxious on wacky tobacco. No matter which was right, I couldn't seem to stop. No, I said, knowing I was pressing the issue. Don't you want to have your way with me? More than you could possibly imagine, but right now you're wet and you smell like pot. You're lucky I let you in my car. Where are we going? I'm taking you home so you can take a hot shower and get dressed in dry clothes. And then we'll see. Oh boy. You gotta love these books. You have to. So I did that right. Peter Smellin calls her. He's one of the partners, and he wants to meet Stephanie at 8 in the bar. So Ranger offers her a job and gives her money for helping out on the security job. So she goes to Joyce Barnhart, investigating snooping. She finds a piece of paper with 2 9-digit numbers on it, and with a phone number, and one of the numbers was Dickie's social security number. And it was for Smith Barney, an automated reserve money place. Joyce comes home. Stephanie pretends to have wanted to work with Stephanie in finding Dickie. She goes to the office. Connie helps her with the numbers. They discover it has a zero balance, but that there was a $40 million withdrawal a couple weeks ago. She calls Ranger and tells him about the money. Then Ranger and Stephanie go to Dickie's house. The house has been searched thoroughly. Let's see. It's Friday, and Friday nights are dinner at Stephanie's parents' house. But Morelli can't go. He's got an issue. No, this is the one where he goes to. He goes, do you have dinner plans? No, this is right. I was right. Her and Morelli have dinner plans at her parents' house every Friday night, and Morelli called and said he couldn't make it, and she's with Ranger at the moment, and she cons Ranger into attending the meal. You were going to ask me to fill in for Morelli at dinner. Roast chicken. You'll have to come up with something better than roast chicken. Do you have dinner plans? Are you going to nag me on this? Yes. What happened to the Stephanie who thought I was mysterious and scary? Gone. Actually, that wasn't entirely true. Ranger was still mysterious and scary at times, but just not today, not compared to my mother and grandmother. Ranger parked in the driveway behind my father's Buick. We need to put out of here at 7:30. If you tell Tank I did this, I'll chain you naked to the traffic light on Hamilton and Broad, and I'll shoot your grandmother if she grabs me. I'm pretty sure he was kidding about the traffic light. Isn't this something, Grandma said when she saw Ranger. What a nice surprise. Is Joe coming too? Nope, I said just Ranger. And Grandma's boyfriend, Elmer, comes, and Joyce Barnhart shows up She just walks in, and Ranger says to her, Eddie Haskell, Ranger whispered against my ear, leaning into me. What? Joyce is doing the Eddie Haskell from Leave It to Beaver. Eddie Haskell was the obnoxious kid who was always sucking up to the Cleavers. You watch Leave It to Beaver? Hard to believe, but I didn't start out at age 30. I actually had a childhood. Mind-boggling. Sometimes it boggles even my mind, Ranger said. And Joyce gets into it with them. Stephanie has to go meet up with that guy, and Ranger tells his men to disable Joyce's vehicle, but they're a little over-enthusiastic. They take the entire engine out of her car, just leave the body. She goes to meet with Smullen, and he doesn't show up. Then she goes to see Carl Coughlin. She tells Ranger about Joyce. She goes to do the security thing, and it works out fine. He wanted a woman's point of view on where a woman would think the cameras would go, not where a guy would think. Then she goes to Dickie's office. She pretends to be, hey, someone call me. They want to upgrade the security because of the incident the other day and because of other missing partners. She cons her way into the building, gets past the security place, but then one of the thugs of the partners shows up, and she staples him in the personal area. It's just too funny. You have to read it. So then she does that. Then she's running out of the building, and she runs right into Ranger, and they discuss the firm. And she also was able to successfully download some information. These are all one-page summaries for quick reference, and at first glance, they all look like normal low-grade cases. A couple property damages, a criminal case against Norman Wellicki for assault, litigation against landscaper, and more property damage. I could be missing something, but it doesn't look to me like any of these cases could bring in big money. So we have 3 partners with empty file cabinets, a 4th partner who chased ambulances, $40 million withdrawn from a Smith Barney account, and a dead accountant, and a missing dickie. And they discuss the case. I really don't want to give too much away. Joyce is following them around. They review the case. They go through the thumb drive. It was financial records. Ranger has to leave town for a little bit. So Lula and Stephanie decide to go to another building that Dickie owns, thinking he might be hiding there. So they go in and they meet a car salesman. He says he's living there because the business isn't great as it looks on TV. They also find a lady who is the girlfriend of Peter Smullen. And why is he hiding out in a very low down apartment? Probably because he doesn't want the bad guys to find him. So then she takes Ranger's car to her parents and borrows Big Blue because she doesn't want everybody following her around when she goes on this mission to check out a warehouse that Dickie also owns. She goes to the warehouse. She runs into Randy Sklar. They know each other, and she goes in the building, looks around. She finds a dead guy burnt to death sitting behind a desk. Apparently, the building blows up. Might have been a timer. She goes out a second-story window, and Randy helps her out by getting an 18-wheeler to catch her when she falls out. So she tells Ranger about the dead guy, and he takes her to St. Francis to get stitched up. She has a really bad gash in her leg from going out the window. She calls Morelli, tells him about the warehouse, and they have an interesting conversation. And let me see if I can find it. I gave Ranger my phone. Morelli wants to talk to you. Yo, Ranger said. He did some listening, and he cut his eyes to me. Understood, he said to Morelli. Don't expect miracles. She's an accident waiting to happen. Ranger disconnected and handed the phone back to me. I'm in charge of your well-being. Morelli should mind his own business. That's exactly what he's doing. You're a couple. You are his business. I don't feel like his business. I feel like my own business. No shit, Ranger said. What was worse, I was caught off guard by the couple status. Do you think Morelli and I are a couple? He has his clothes in your closet. Only socks and underwear. Ranger parked in my parents' driveway and turned to me. You want to be careful what you tell me. My moral code stops short of don't covet someone else's woman. You have been holding me at arm's length and I respect that, but I'll move in if I feel that barrier relax. I already knew this, but having said it out loud was discerning. I didn't want to make more of it than was necessary. So I tried being playful. Are you telling me socks and underwear are borderline in terms of couple qualifications? I'm telling you, be careful. When Ranger issued a warning, he didn't do playful. That's just great, I said. I'm so not good at being careful. Ah. I can't spend the night at Rangeman. Morelli said I should keep you safe. Yeah, but no one's after me. I just had some unfortunate luck. Babe, you destroyed a car, burnt down 2 buildings, stapled the guy's nuts, and you have 16 stitches in your leg. Take the night off, have a glass of wine, watch some television, and go to bed. At Rangeman. She goes to Rangeman, spends the night. Then the next day, they take Hanson, the pot guy, to jail. She gets her reward. I can't help it. I have to share these books with you. My computer's going to lose its battery soon, so I got to get going. Where's my thing? Just a second. As you can tell, I really like this book. So she goes by Coglin. Brett, one of the Rangers, goes with her. Ella brought salad and sandwiches up at noon, and Ranger strolled in minutes behind her. How'd the meeting go? I asked him. Good. He selected a sandwich and ate it standing up in the kitchen. I did the same. I noticed you're dressed in Rangeman colors, Ranger said to me. Turns out I have clothes in your closet. More than just underwear and socks. They were left here from the last time you stayed here. Does that make us a couple? Spend another night with me and I'll explain couple to you, Ranger said. Yeah, gotta love it. They talked to Rufus Kane. He's an informant. He says he has a business with Victor Gorvich, and he's one of the partners they want to get a hold of. So they go after him, and later they find out that Smullen was murdered, and the guy in the warehouse, the burnt guy, and they want to talk to Stephanie because she's the prime suspect. Again, she's the prime suspect. So then she's talking to Ranger, and I used to be such a badass, Ranger said. Everyone was afraid of me. Everybody wanted to kill me. I needed Tank walking behind me to keep the paid assassins under control. And now look at me. I'm followed by a woman in a rented Taurus. He made a vague gesture with his hand, and I can't remember the last time someone tried to kill me. It wasn't that long ago, I said. It was in my apartment, and you got shot a bunch of times, and it wasn't all that much fun. So they talk to Smullen's girlfriend, and they tell her her Smullen is dead. So then Stephanie and him check out the stuff. There's a whole bunch of really good some stuff here, but we have Stephanie gets very, very upset with Morelli when she finds out where Dickie has been all this time. Then she talks to Coglin. When she goes home, someone breaks into her apartment, and Joyce Barnard actually rescues her. Can you believe that stuff? I don't think. Yeah, she gets her stuff. We're not even gonna go there. But to find out what happened with all the partners, what's Morelli's part in all of this, where the key is, this thing that everybody is looking for, and they are absolutely positive that Stephanie has it. And to find out how, if her and Ranger get any closer, or if her and Joe get any closer. It's a really good book. Please check it out. Lean Mean 13. And join me tomorrow for Fearless 14. Did it get 14? Might have accidentally picked up 15. There you go. Fearless 14. So please check it out. Please hit the like and subscribe. Please let me know I'm doing a good job. Thank you. Have a good night out. The ending is a little terrifying for Stephanie. There's some cliffhangers. It's really touch and go there. So you'll have to check it out. I hope you enjoyed my book review. Thank you.